There are three terms that are going to be really important for us as we study set theory. Those terms are intersection, union, and complement. It's important to have an understanding of what those terms are before we start doing problems, so let's go ahead and take a look at each of these. The intersection of two sets is where they overlap. What elements do they have in common? And the way that's going to look for us might be something like A intersect B. That'd be the intersection of sets A and B. Where do they overlap? What is it that they have in common? The union of two sets is what we get when we join them together. What that might look like would be A union B, and that's when we take all the elements of A, we take all the elements of B, and we join them together to make one set. The complement of a set is what we get when it's everything that's inside our universal set, but outside of the given set. What that's going to look like is a complement, and that one will probably make more sense when we get a chance to look at some examples with specific numbers. To help with those new vocabulary terms, we've got four sets here that we're going to work with. Our universal set has 6 elements, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Set A has 4 elements, A, C, 2, 3. Set B has 3 elements, A, B, 2. And set C has 3 elements, C, 1, 2. Now let's use these sets to look at how we're going to use the intersection, the union, and the complement. The first example we'll look at is let's find the set A intersect B. So let's see, what is it that A and B have in common? Where do they overlap? Well, I can see that A is in both sets, B is not, C is not, 2 is in both sets, and 3 is not. So what they have in common, where they overlap, the intersection of those two sets includes 2 elements, A and 2. And that's it. That is finding the intersection of 2 sets. Now let's take a look at another one. Let's find B union C. Now we want the union of sets B and C. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this stuff that's in B and all this stuff that's in C and just put them together. I'm going to go ahead and write them in the same order they were given in the universal set, even though that's not important and it wouldn't make it incorrect to put them in a different order. But I'm going to have A, B, C, 1, and 2. And you might think, hey, 2's in there twice. Can we write it twice in our union? There's not really reason to. An element is either in a set or it's not. Once we've got the 2 in there, it's in there. So we don't need to write it a second time. And we're all done. B union C contains those 5 elements. Using these same sets, let's take a look at the idea of complement. Now, complement is sometimes something that students struggle with, and I don't want you to. Don't make it harder than it is. When we're asked to find the set A complement, all we're looking for is what is it that's in our universal set. It's stuff that we're working with in this particular problem that's outside of A. Well, let's see. A is in there, B is not. C is in there, 1 is not. 2 is in there, and 3 is in there. So the things that are in the universal set that are outside of A, which we call a complement, is B and 1. And that's it. That's a complement. Oops. Let's do another one of these. Let's see if we can find C complement. So let's see. I want the stuff that's in the universal set that's outside of C. Well, A is outside of C, and B is outside of C. C is in there. 1 is in there, 2 is in there, and 3 is outside of C. So the things that are outside of C that are in the universal set are A, B, and 3. And that is C complement. Don't make that harder than it is. Now let's take all those words and put them together and look at some problems. Let's say we're asked to find B complement intersect A. I don't expect you just to eyeball this and come up with an answer. There's some steps that we need to take in order to get there. If I need to find where B complement intersects set A, the first thing I need is B complement. I don't have that yet. So I'm going to go over here and write down B complement. I'm going to find that first. Let's see. A is in there. B is in there. C is not. 1 is not. 2 is in there. And 3 is not. Okay, so now I have B complement. That's the first step in this process. Now I want to know, where does B complement intersect set A? Where do they overlap? Well, let's take a look. B complement has C, 1, and 3 in it. A has A, C, 2, and 3 in it. So what is it that they have in common? Well, let's see. They have the C in common. And they have the 3 in common. And that's it. I found B complement intersect A. It took a couple of steps. The first thing I had to do was find out what B complement is. Now once I've got that, now I can look for where do those two sets overlap. Let's do another. This time, let's look for B complement union C. Now I'm joining these two sets together. It's not about where do they overlap anymore. Now it's about take all the stuff from B complement, take all the stuff from C, put them together into one set. Okay, well we can do that. We've got B complement is C, 1, and 3. C is C, 1, and 2. So I'm going to have C, 1, 2, and 3. I've taken everything in B complement and I've joined it with everything in C, and I've made one set. Okay, let's throw in some parentheses and do one more. Let's say we're after B intersect C union A complement. As you might remember from reading, just like with algebra, we do the things that are inside parentheses first. So the first thing we're going to do here is find C union A. We need that first. And we might make a little note of that over here somewhere. What is C union A? So now I need everything with C joined with everything that's in A, and that's going to be, looks like A, C, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I've got that. The next thing I need to do up here in my problem is take the complement of that set that I just found. So what I need is C joined with A, take the complement. So that's everything that's in the universal set that's not in that set that I just found. Well, it looks like A, C, 1, 2, 3 are in there, so the only thing that's not in there is B. Then finally, the last step in my problem is I need, where does B intersect what I just found? Where does B intersect what I just found? Well, these are the elements of B. Here's the set I just found. Where do those overlap? Where do they intersect? What do they have in common? It's only this guy right here. So, B intersect C union A complement is just one element, and it's the little b. That's it. Be patient and stay organized as you do these, and I think you'll do just fine.